Section 10.2, Adding Randomness. Many games, including the two that we'll build in this chapter, rely on randomness to make them fun. In our first game, we'll need the computer to generate the random digits of the number that we'll be deducing. In the second game, we'll need to roll dice, which just amounts to generating random numbers between 1 and 6. Enemy behavior, initial orientation of a puzzle, or amount of damage caused by attacks, that is, randomness, is typically involved in all of these and many other aspects of game design. We'll therefore need to be able to generate random numbers in our Python programs. To learn how to do that, let's use Copilot Chat, much as we did in the previous chapter. Human. I need to generate random numbers in my Python program. How can I do this? GitHub Copilot. You can use the random module in Python to generate random numbers. Here's an example.
See this code?
This code imports the random module and then uses the randint function to generate a random integer between 1 and 10, inclusive, and the random function to generate a random float between 0 and 1. Copilot suggests using functions inside of a module called random to generate the random numbers. Let's check whether the random module is built into Python. Human. Is this random module built into Python? GitHub Copilot. Yes, the random module is a built-in module in Python, so you don't need to install any additional modules to use it. You can simply import it in your Python code and start using its functions. We'll follow Copilot's suggestion and import this module to test the two functions that we just learned. We'll do this at the Python 3 greater than symbols prompt, which we've used in previous chapters to explore how Python features work. To get to the Python prompt, press Ctrl-Shift-P, type REPL, and then select Python. Start REPL. Based on Copilot's response to our first question, we know that we can use the randint function to generate a random integer in a range from the lowest allowed number to the highest allowed number. We might use this function to generate individual digits that could be assembled into a larger number. Each digit is between 0 and 9, so we'll ask randint for some random numbers between 0 and 9.
See this code?
Or we might want to generate rolls of a die. Each roll is between 1 and 6, so we can ask randint for some random numbers between 1 and 6.
See this code?
The other function that Copilot told us about is called random. Yes, both the module and this function are called random, so we'll need to use random.random to call this function. This one doesn't generate a random integer. Rather, it generates a random fractional number between 0 and 1, not including 1. For example, rather than a random number like 5, you'll get a random number like 0.1926502. These kinds of numbers with decimals are referred to as floats, or floating point numbers. Here are a few calls of this function.
See this code?
We can imagine this function being useful for games as well. For example, you can think of these float values as probabilities that an event occurs, with higher numbers corresponding to higher probabilities. You could then use these floats to determine whether an event should happen or not. For the games in this chapter, though, we won't need this function.